There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. The mic dial is moving. That means that sound is happening, I hope. Um, I don't know. So I had a job interview today. And I did my makeup and stuff. So I figured I might as well talk. Um, Hi. My name is Marie, also known as a nobody from the internet. Uh, I uh, made a video about Jimmy Snow, and a bunch of you came here for that. Um, this is not that. This is some sort of ranting, but it is not about anyone big. It is about a very bad boss. So, bit of context. Um, I have been working in the food industry for 9 years, since 2012. I was a teenager working at a St. Hubert. Uh, I was like original staff at that location, so like I was there for about 5 years, and then in 2017, I decided to that it was time for me to leave. Stuff was going on there, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not into this like drama. I'm just gonna peace out. Nah. And I went, and then I found out afterwards that shit hit the fan very, very quickly after I left. Um, and I love my cafe job. I really enjoy my coworkers. I enjoy my regular customers. I enjoy having a job that I'm moving. Um, just there are lots of little things that I enjoy, and I enjoy the people aspect of it, the doing something that makes someone's day, being able to do those little things. I've really enjoyed that. It brings me joy, and for me, that is one of the reasons why I talked to my physiotherapist, and I was like, look, I really like my job. I know realistically, it is hard on my joints because I was diagnosed in March with hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And yeah, so stuff started going downhill from there. Um, I also have ADHD, by the way. My boss knew that when I was hired. So yeah, oops, sorry. So at the end of March, I was diagnosed by I'm a full-time employee, for context as well. She made sure of that. She slightly blackmailed me with my health benefits to come back after COVID. I wasn't feeling comfortable. I had like 2 weeks left to serve, and she was like, "Yeah, either you go full time again or you lose your benefits." And I'm like, "Well, you, you said you would give me part time until serve was done, but like, okay, whatever." Um, so I went along with that, and then so she made a big stink about me going full time. Uh, and so I was diagnosed in March. By the end of April, for the month of April, I was working 5 shifts. After that, I was working 4 shifts, and she hired someone new. And slowly, it went from 4 split shifts, which are 12 to 2, 4 to close, which was 8 o'clock at the time. 12 to 2, 4 to 8, and then later on it went to 9. Um, the shifts have changed because the hours have changed, but that's what it was at the time. So I was working that 5 days a week, and I was fine with that. Like, yeah, sure, like I wasn't hitting the 30 hours like that I was supposed to be, but I was the person, the server that was doing the most hours. Even the so basically I was working in another hour basically. Plus I didn't have or I didn't have a half-hour break because I had the split. So I worked that half hour instead of taking a break. So even the person who like worked the same amount of hours took a break, so worked less. So we were 2 full-time employees and 2 part-time employees at that time. Then she hired another full-time employee beginning of summer, when stuff picks up usually. And realistically, like, I was like, yeah, like, I'm fine with, like, doing 4 shifts, like, that's the lowest that I, like, feel comfortable going. But, like, yeah, I mean, whatever, it's 1 shift, and she'll probably just swap that 1 shift between the 2 of us. That's not what happened. Um, so for a few months, it was 4 shifts, until she started doing 4 split shifts and then just a 4 to close, so I didn't have that 2 hours at the beginning. And oh geez, I need to close that. Uh, so yeah, I didn't have that 2 hours at the beginning. And then it started at the end of June being just 3 shifts. And I mean, it's June, it's hot, it's muggy. Like, it's annoying. I can't afford shit, but like, oh, well, I'll take a long weekend here and there. And then I asked for some time off for the COVID shot because I reacted really badly to the first one. So I was like, look, we might as well assume that I'm going to react badly to this one. So we did that. Uh, and then, yeah, in that time, she started scheduling me just 3 shifts for the month. And I was like super frustrated because, like, I just want to, like, I want to work. I want to be able to save up money. I want to be able to start Pilates because that's what my doctor told me to do, was to start Pilates classes, uh, because it'll help me with my joints and stuff. Um, and yeah, so I didn't have the money to do that. So I didn't have money to strengthen my joints and all that. Uh, and and yeah, it just started going downhill from there. So 2 weeks ago, uh, like, at the beginning of August, one of the cooks went on vacation for 2 weeks, and so I being slightly cross-trained, like, I know how to put the meals together and, like, refill, like, the vegetables and stuff, and, like, a few different, like, very, very small things, that like, the details, like, I know how to clean, I know how to, like, make the meals and refill what's empty. Uh, so for the past 2 weeks, I've been working 4 split shifts in the kitchen, which is harder on my shoulder. Um, and I'm lifting boiling water and just I'm working muscles and joints that I don't work in my day-to-day job. I don't work out front. Like, I don't work my shoulders as much. I don't lift as much out front. I don't lift, like, weight wise as much. Uh, so I spent basically I did 8 shifts in the kitchen. Um, some of them I had the beginning of my shift out front, but like, the like and that one was an earlier start too. So like the first part of the split was out front, and then the second part was out back. Um, yeah, and so it was really hard when, like, I saw the schedule this week, and as a full-time employee, I was scheduled 19 hours. That's not right. Like, regardless of anything else, that is not right. So I confronted her and I was just like, hey, like, I really need a minimum of 4 shifts. Like, I really need that minimum, because I'm struggling to pay bills. And my boss told me straight to my face, and this is the ableist in her, that look, I'll do my best, but it's just what happens when you like have She said the words, "It's just what happens in situations like this. When you break an arm or a limb or whatever, uh, you'll get better. And it's not your fault, but you're not going to get better." And my goal was to stay there for a year. I wanted to make it till next March because I enjoyed that job. Uh, and it just hurt so much because I've been working there for since 2017, right? I've become quite attached to my. Uh, I have ADHD. I kind of stick to jobs, um, and I just enjoy doing the same thing, because it keeps my brain from going places. Like it's like okay, I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. Don't don't forget things because I'm doing the same thing, right? Um, so yeah, it just really hurt. Uh, and it wasn't okay. And she said this to me at like right before lunch, like right before the lunch rush was starting. And my coworker didn't hear it. And she said this out loud. And I don't know if customers heard it, but there were customers around. Um, and it just wasn't okay. Just in general, it wasn't okay. Um, so I was just very distracted for the rest of the lunch. And then that night, I was like mad. Um, and my partner actually, bless him, he called into his work and he was like, when I texted him a picture of my schedule, he's like, no, no. He called in and was like, look, I'm gonna be like probably like just an hour late. We need to deal with something. And we sat down and talked. And so, because I'm struggling with bills, he offered to pay for food, and I feel horrible about that. I am a very independent person. And so, him paying for food, he said, regardless of me getting another job this month, he's going to pay for food for the month so that I can catch up, basically. And I'm just like, I don't like, I don't like. Um, so yeah, that's happening. Uh, and we just basically sat down and made a game plan. And yeah, um, it just feels icky. It feels really icky and disappointing and just uncomfortable. Um, and I realized yesterday, or I realized like a couple days ago, like why would I fight to stay at a job where I am not welcome? And that's what it comes down to. Um, I did not feel safe. I did not feel welcome. I am going to finish. I've given them my 2 weeks notice today. So like I am going to work whatever they're scheduled and work the rest of the week. Like I have no problem doing that. Uh, next week might be interesting because on Thursday when this happened, I posted on my Facebook. I was like, "Yo, anybody know any place that's hiring?" Just like in passing. Uh, and my supervisor from St. Hubert, who was one of the only people who had my back when what happened there happened. I can tell that story time at some other time. Uh, messaged me and she's like, "My job is hiring. They're looking for bilingual people. They are desperate for bilingual people. Uh, and so I'm going from a serving job where I'm making $12 an hour and tips, which is like let's be real, the tips during COVID have not been great. Like you have those few people who are like you're working during the pandemic and that and like give like really good tips and then you have the people who are like I'm struggling and this is a treat uh and I can't afford a tip. So like here's $1. So like it's that awkward situation. I'm gonna turn on this light because that helps a little bit. Yeah, it was way too dark. Okay. Um, so yeah, it's just it's not right. Also, like, just for context, why I'm, like, sitting so close is that my cat is, like, there. She's like, "What are you doing?" Um, so yeah, it's just icky. She's so cute. Um, and not okay. Uh, it is constructive dismissal. That's what it is. The fact that she flat out told me that it was for my own good to push me to find another job, while she's telling me places that are hiring and saying that it's flat out because of my disability, which, by the way, my physiotherapist and my doctor like that I'm doing a physical job because it keeps me moving. Both of them said, like, we'll reassess, and, like, if ever you feel uncomfortable doing your job, you come and see us, right? Both of them have said that. Uh, and I've said, look, my goal is a year. I will be content if I can get a year. Because the reality of the situation is, because of my EDS over the years, we didn't know it was the EDS at the time, but I've had to give up so many things. I was really into sports when I was young. I played the violin, I ran, I did badminton, handball, volleyball, soccer. Like, I did so much, and I was such an active kid. And then I started injuring myself a lot, so no sports team wanted me because I was a liability. Uh, and, like, I understood that, but it was still sucked because, like, they wouldn't take me to competitions. Some of the situations, they were like, "Yeah, you can, like, come and practice and stuff and, like, still be active, but, like, we can't have you," like, because I was good, but they're like, "We can't take you to competitions. It's just not feasible." So, uh, that, and then for the violin, I can't hold my arm like this anymore with the weight of the violin and like this, especially, oh, there. Especially, the with the bow arm. So it's something that slowly I stopped being able to do because practicing was just, it was such a chore to do something that I enjoyed. So I had already had these things that I was like, that were taken away from me because now we know of that. So I wanted to leave this job on my terms. And so I do feel like that was taken away from me. Um, and yeah, so the fact that she said all those things and just flat out said that she so two people quit. Uh, so the person she hired back in May, she hired to replace me. And then that person quit because he was told he was going to be paid 15 cents above minimum wage, but was paid what we are, which is 25 cents above minimum wage, because it she didn't raise it when minimum wage went up the last couple times. Um, yeah, so it's been not fun. Uh, but yeah, so that person left because of that, and then the other person worked at both restaurants that they own. And this is all the same owner. Like, that is the only owner I have problems with. Um, the chef at my restaurant uh is, really good. Very he's an old man set in his ways, but also, like, he's the person I work with. She works mainly at the other restaurant. She's only here, she drops by, spends a couple days there every other month, and then leaves. Um, so it's just not right. It's just not right. Um, yeah, so that's been my life. Um, but, uh, yeah. Also, something to note, Like, it literally is only that one of the 4 that I've had issues with. Um, and I am not the first person that she has gotten rid of because of disabilities. Um, Once I leave and I don't need to involve myself with them again, I might say where it is. Because honestly, I don't want anybody who has issues to work there. Um, because it's not worth it. I worked there before the 4 owners owned it. Uh, it used to be a couple who were really, really nice and really, really caring, and they made sure that, like, after a year of full time, ev everybody got benefits, and, like, it just a bunch of stuff that, like, being a barista with health benefits is, like, unheard of, right? But the 2 original owners were just so nice, and they took care of their people. Um, so to have one of the new owners, who was the manager, um, treat people like shit, for stuff that's out of their control, it it hurts. Um, so yeah, I am not the only person that she has. Oh yeah, the second person who quit, worked at both places, and there was a bar at the other place, and he works at 2 different bars, and he got in trouble there, like, at the sister restaurant, um, because he was mixing the mixed drinks, because don't mix them, customers have straws, and they don't go there to get drinks. That it's single drinks that are very expensive. And when he tried to, like, disagree with her because that's not right, she literally threw an ice scoop in his direction. Like, threw it, it was like slung it across the table, but in his direction. And he was just like, I'm not dealing with this. So he quit. And then the person who was supposed to replace me, the other full time person who started slowly getting my hours, quit because they're going back to school. So she's currently training 2 people, uh, and uh, training one of them to be manager to replace the manager that we already have that doesn't have um, any teeth whatsoever because she's taken them out. She doesn't let him do anything. Uh, yeah, it's I'm watching the ship sink, and I'm just like, um, it it's been rough, because I really like my job, and I'm talking in circles. I don't know. I don't even know why I'm here. I I feel, excuse me. I feel like getting it out there and just venting to the universe, and to the one person that keeps popping in and out. I see you. Um, Even if it's just venting to the universe, that this helps someone, um, because that's not okay. It's not okay to be treated like that because of your disability. And the sad thing is that I felt this way for a while, even before my EDS diagnosis. Because a few years ago, um, I guess like a couple years ago now, uh, she went on a bit of a firing spree and fired one of our cooks because she was too slow. She she was such a great person. She did her job. She Yes, she was slow, but like physically slow, cuz she was old. Like not old, but like I don't know, like late 40s, early 50s, like still able to do her job, but like it took her a second. Um, and sometimes the cleaning she would take more time, but she also wouldn't stay clocked in. Like when the front of house people left was when she clocked out, regardless of like her being here and there until 11 and us leaving at 9. She would usually like only clock like half an hour after we left at most. So like, but she would stay until the job was done, um, and not charge them because she knew she should be able to do it in that time. Um, they fired her because she didn't move fast enough. And then shortly after that, they fired a front of house worker. Um, he was also being slightly cross trained. Um, like the level of you can make the bowls and you can clean. Um, and the person working before him, who is the owner's daughter, left the oven on. Now, he worked one shift every once in a while in the kitchen. Like every few months, one of us worked a shift in the kitchen. So like we were three people who can work the kitchen out front. Every couple months, when a kitchen person wanted a day off, one of us did it basically. And he got fired uh, because he has ADHD and was forgetful. And like he tried, he was trying so hard to do the work and to do it well, and it was to the point where he was getting mad at himself because he's like, I should be able to do this. And he was fired for forgetting to turn off the oven. That he did not even, it wasn't on the checklist that the boss keeps pointing to, like, do what's on this checklist. Um, and he didn't turn on, and he didn't know to check. Like, so yeah, he was fired for that. And then she hired somebody else in the kitchen. And he was also fired for something related to his ADHD and his anxiety. So when that firing spree, that was all within like 2-3 months that she fired those people. And for context, the older lady that she fired had been working for the original owners and for the company for a total of 9 years. The new owners bought the place like 2 or 3 years ago. So like, eh, it was 3 years ago because I was dating. I was dating my partner. So yeah, like closer to 3 years ago. Like, yeah, in that time frame, 3 years ago. So it just starting at that point, morale went down. And the guy who quit because of the drink situation had left for school, but was working when those people were fired. And honestly, everybody who was working when that happened, morale went down and it never went up. Is the reality of the situation. And that one boss, she she very much is someone that if something's wrong, it's wrong because it wasn't her idea. And if something's right, it's wrong because it wasn't her idea. Uh, so it's just been hard to feel good at that job. So yeah, it is what it is at the end of the day. Um, but the good part of all of this is that my former supervisor told me about that job listing. And so I literally, the conversation that kicked all of this, like, no, I'm done with this bullshit, uh, that conversation happened uh, Thursday just before noon. When I got home that night, uh, I did I filled out an application for that job, and this morning I had an interview for it, and a couple hours later they contacted me and I have it. Now this is a nice cushy job. It's a Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. I've been working close shifts for like 10 years. Mornings are going to be rough, but it's Monday to Friday, 8 to 4. Like I I I'm working my first adult job. Let's be real. Let's put it that way. I am working my first adult job. And my training starts next week. I don't know what she's going to do because I've only given her like 6 days notice. Uh I might end up working next Saturday. But like it's a cushy job and I'm excited for it. And the people who interviewed me were super chill. And I've just watched all of the so it's a situation where like the company that I'll be doing the work for isn't the company that hired me. I'm hired by like someone who contracts people out. So that company has a zero discrimination policy. Like it's not okay. Doesn't fly. And I appreciate that. I appreciate having an HR that is not the problematic boss. I am looking forward to that because yeah, it's it's exciting. Um, so I'm looking forward to a job that I'm not on my feet all day. That'll be nice. That'll be so nice. My feet are going to be so happy. Um, that I'm not dislocating my shoulder cleaning a sandwich press. Um, Stuff like that. Like I need my thumb never dislocates, okay? I needed to go buy a brace during my like 2 weeks in the kitchen because the handle for the dishwasher is like this and like it pushes open like to open it you push it up and it like pulls the entire thing up and then to close it you push it down. But like I grab it like this and like go like that. Um, and just I ended up just by doing that quickly and doing that more than I usually do the few times that I like jump out back and help for dishes or like one kitchen shift every few months. Um, Doing that for 4 days straight, pushed my thumb out of its socket. Did I stop working? No. Did I continue to do my job? Yup. Because that's my life. I literally went, I bought this during my split, wore it during my split, put it back on at the act once my shift was done. Uh, and and yeah, it helped. It really helped. But that's the thing. It's that no matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna hurt myself. That's the reality of my life. When I wake up, I need to make sure that all of my joints are in place because the amount of times that I've like popped my hip out of place or my shoulder out of place in my sleep. Uh, I I remember when I was in like 5th grade, there were some mornings where I would wake up and my neck hurt so bad that I literally spent the day like this because it didn't hurt like this. And people laughed at me for it, and I was bullied for it, but it didn't hurt. So like just that is how bad the pain can be sometimes. But you work with it. You adapt, right? And yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. Uh, I feel like now that I've vented, um, I feel a bit better. Um, I do think that I will be making a complaint to the labor board because it's not okay. Uh, and at the very least, if my situation can be, because So the guy who forgot to like turn off the stove, both of his parents are lawyers. That's the funny thing in all of this. And like he would be in just the perfect position to like cause her problems. But he didn't. And nobody has made an actual official complaint as far as I'm aware. So am going to make a complaint at the very least so that there is a precedent for there being issues with this employer. Um, and in that complaint, I am going to be very specific that I have only had issues with the one employer, and the card that she is going to try to play is that one of the other owners has ADHD as well. So she couldn't have discriminated against the other two people with ADHD because one of the other owners has ADHD. Not how that works. It's not. So, yeah. Uh, Other than that, life has been fine. Not had money to do anything. I'm late on my bills. Uh, I'll be getting my vacation pay. I should. I stubbornly did not touch my vacation pay, and I was just like, you know what? No, I'm not doing. I'm not going to do that. It's not happening. Um, so I was just like, I'm not touching my vacation pay. I will. I have a convention at the end of the month that I'm running. Also, NBCon. I have a sponsors coming in, and I need to continue sending emails. But yeah, it's been a fun time. I have the gold and both silvers filled. Sorry, tangent. um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. It'll be something different, some job experience that is not a serving job, which is also kind of an issue. It's that like going into this, I was like, look, I know that there is absolutely no like phone customer service experience here. The best I can do is people before their coffee, and the interviews had a good laugh at. They were like how would you like de-escalate an escalating situation? I'm like, look, I've been dealing with people who haven't had their coffee yet for 4 years. And then I explained that, but they had a good laugh at that. Uh, so yeah, it's bittersweet. Uh, I don't like change. I don't think anybody does. Um, I don't like change that I'm forced into, but it'll be good. And I'll be working with my supervisor from St. Hubert again, which is exciting because she was awesome. And she actually lives in this building. So we'll be able to carpool sometimes because I don't drive. So she said, like, as long as you like pitch in for gas every once in a while, like, I don't care. It's not like I'm driving you anywhere, like, that I'm not already going. So, um, yeah, it's nice. Hmm. Anywho, I am not looking forward to being downtown for 8 a.m. But yeah, it's I I do enjoy that. Like I have a set schedule. Uh, it's at least for my training period, it's 8:30 to 4, 4 days a week, the Monday to Thursday, and then eight there yeah 8:30 to 5, and then 8 to 4:30 on the Friday. So it's nice. It's I'm gone half an hour early on Friday. You know, it's clutch. Anywho, I have people sending me emails. I should probably get going. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to vent. And figured I'd do it here. So, thank you guys. I'll see you guys around.